Hey everybody, welcome to ZP Live. It's episode 16, 17, we never remember. Hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend, or week. God, I love live. Let's start over. Hey everybody, Jeff Zahler, ZP Live, episode 17 I think. Hope everybody's having a wonderful week and happy Wednesday. We wanted to talk to renters, about renters, and helping you find that first house of yours if you're looking to actually get into the purchase market from the rental market. So we had posted a post a couple weeks, last week or so, asking to send some questions in. So we appreciate it. We did get a few questions. We're still getting questions in, so we can definitely answer those privately to you directly or whatever. But we did get a handful of questions. I'm not going to get to all of them, but we did bring up, there was 5 questions that we did get that I want to kind of address because I think they're really kind of a good overall idea of what renters are looking for these days. So without further ado, John that lives in Summerlin, John wrote in and asked about needing 20% down. If that's still, if that's what is needed. And John, the answer is no. There are loan programs out there for as low as 3%. There's some that are even lower. We're not lenders. We can connect you with great lenders, but realistically, the answer is 20% is kind of a myth, if you will. Very few people actually are putting 20% down. If you put less than 20% down, there is something that's called mortgage insurance. That's part of the payment. Depending on if you do a private mortgage insurance or if you do an FHA loan, it can go away automatically or not. Again, a great loan professional will be able to talk to you about that. But no, we do not live in a 20% world. 3% or so. There is FHA for 3.5%. You can see, anything really in that 3 up to 20%. So you do not need 20% whatsoever. The money will cost you a little bit more every month, but that's what you definitely see a lot of programs like that these days. So, John, if you have any other questions about that or want to talk to a lender, please let us know. We'd love to connect you with one or multiple lenders, and you can kind of go and talk to them. So, I do appreciate that. Chad from Green Valley asked about credit score. He says he's in the low 600s. What can he do? Can he buy now? And I think there's an asterisk to every one of my responses. We're not lenders. We're not tax professionals, but we can kind of push you in the right direction. So low 600s, you're definitely getting there. Depending on how low you really are talking. Are you talking, when you say low 600s, are you talking 600? Are you talking 640, 650 or so? There's no real magic number. That 640, 650 number really kind of becomes a threshold of easier money to get. But there are things that you can do to boost that score 20, 30, 40 points without having to do any kind of major credit repair. Are you carrying balances on your credit cards? What kind of debt do you have? Do you not have enough debt? I know it sounds weird to say that, but sometimes you don't have enough debt. If you're new to the credit industry or whatever, you haven't built up enough of a credit profile or credit history for a lender to say, okay, we can get you a loan. So, if you don't have enough credit, or if you're trying to repair your credit, try to make those payments off. Try to pay that credit card off. Pay the higher percentage credit cards off first or whatever. What kind of car payment do you have? Are you close to making that car payment and paying the car off? All those types of things will naturally help your credit score. Now, if you're in a much more of a situation where the credit's definitely in need of some help, there are companies out there that do credit repair. There are independent companies. There are lenders that work with credit companies that can help you. Again, give us a call. We can kind of put you in contact with the people that you need to be talking to get you there. But if you're in the low 600s and you've got good job income and all that stuff, and you had a little bit of a credit issue, you're pretty much, you're rounding third. You're getting close to being able to get into that position. So knowing sooner than later, give yourself a few months. This is not going to happen overnight. But again, putting a plan together is what you really want to do. So great question. Christina in Providence asked, what does a payment include? If you do a mortgage, what does that include? You'll hear lenders and you'll hear us talk about a lot of abbreviations and everything. But for the most part, these days, most of your loans will include what's called PITI. PI is principal and interest The T is taxes, and then the second I is your home insurance. So a lot of lenders these days will put together a loan package for everything that includes all that stuff. That way you're making one payment. It covers your taxes for the home. In Nevada and Clark County, we pay our property taxes 4 times a year. You have a home insurance policy that is required by the lender. That way you're making one payment every month, and the escrow account will hold that money, and then they'll pay the county the 4 times a year, and they'll pay the homeowner's insurance and all that stuff. Obviously, the PI part is the principal and interest. Interest is the cost of the money, and the principal is that chunk of money you're borrowing of what you owe. And how an amortized loan works is the earlier periods you're paying a lot more interest than principal, and then eventually you'll see the two kind of cross where you're ending up paying more principal down every month in interest. Really great, awesome, but that way you can actually kind of see every single month you owe less and less and less. So PITI is what it does pay for. What does a mortgage payment not cover? That's another good question. So most of the time, and in fact all the time, homeowners associations. If you live in an area with a homeowners association, that's not going to be covered. If you happen to live in an area with a SID and LID here in the Las Vegas area, that's not going to be covered. Things like that are not covered. Water, trash, sewer, utilities, those things, depending on the community you live in. Some condo communities actually carry some of that, but really that's what your payment is going to include. So there are extra payments, of course. Some of those payments you do make as a renter, some of them you don't. Really depends on the rental you have, but there are other payments, but most of those are, generally speaking, not very expensive in the long scheme of things. So great question. Andrea from Mountains Edge had a good question about other expenses, and that's kind of what this was really, but I think what she really meant was not home expenses, but hey, I'm afraid of the dishwasher breaking, or what happens if my roof falls apart? All great questions. And homes are, they're built, right? They're built by people, they're built by companies, they're built, when it comes down to it, they're built by people. Things do break. There are ways to mitigate those issues. The first and foremost is when you do decide to become a homeowner, we get you a home inspection once we find a property that you want to buy, that the seller agrees to. And even a home inspection, again, it's done by an inspector. They're licensed, but sometimes mistakes do happen. But we review the home inspection, and we kind of point out what could be an issue now, and what could be an issue now may not be an issue in 5 years, or what looks perfect now becomes an issue later. It really depends on how well you use the home. Other things that can break, your dishwasher breaks, or the dryer blows up or something. Those kind of things, it's never fun when those go. There are ways to, again, mitigate. There's what's called a home warranty. Usually when we work with our buyers, we try to get the seller to pay for at least a 1-year home warranty. So if the dishwasher breaks, you call a phone number, you pay a small fee, a $60, $80 fee. You'll have somebody come out, repair it, or replace it if they need to. It doesn't work perfectly, but at least that way it will give you peace of mind that, hey, for at least the first year, and then you can always extend those home warranties, I've got this peace of mind that if the dishwasher breaks or the water heater blows up. By the way, my water heater did blow up one day. It was the 5th of July one year. Woke up to a leaky water heater. I had a brand new water heater installed by noon the next day. I think it cost me like $200 out of pocket compared to about $1,000 if we had to pay for it ourselves. So they're definitely invaluable. And then the other thing is just working with a professional that will look through a house with you and explain the difference of a new home versus an old home. Old homes have been around longer. How new is the roof? Is the roof original? What kind of roof material is it? That kind of stuff is really what you want to talk about. It's not just the house inside, it's the whole property that you're buying. And then we got one more question because I try to keep these a little bit shorter. Howard from Southern Highlands. Great question. When do I start looking for homes? And I think what that really meant was, if I'm coming off a lease or whatever, how long do I need? Everybody's different, Howard. Realistically, we can get you into a house as quickly as you need to be in a house. But I do say, what are the speed bumps? Do you have a credit score issue that you don't know about, or are you new to a job, or are you new to the community here? Those kind of things really, we could find you something as quickly as possible, but you and your situation may be different from everybody else. Maybe you need 6 months to get things worked out the right way. So I always say, if you think in the next 12 months that you're going to be looking for a house and you're a renter now and you've got some other stuff going on, 12 months is not too early to at least reach out to a professional, sit down with us, spend 5-10 minutes kind of putting a plan together. If you've got the perfect case and you're ready to go, great. And if you can't get out of a lease or whatever, we can talk to you about that too. We put you on a drip. We continue to send you properties and you get more and more knowledge about the community. That way when you are ready to go, we're here for you. But for those people that may need some of this extra work, it's better to find out now than later, right? If you do need a little credit issue or credit repair, or if you do need to start saving up even that 3 or 5% for a down payment, let's put a plan together. Let's get you in here discussing this with you. Let's get you talking to a lender. Even without maybe pulling your credit, put you on a plan. That lender can talk to you about potential down payment assistance programs, all that fun stuff too, that can help with the big picture. Because buying a house isn't just going on Zillow and finding a pretty property. It's really this entire huge step of the process, right? Finding a house is just really step one of like 150 steps. That's what we're here for. We handle the other steps all along the way. Hold your hand through it. This is for you. It's not for us, but we're here as professionals, as the local market expert, to help with that kind of stuff. So if you're in a rental, if you just re-signed a lease, but you said this is the last year, I am not leasing again. It's not too early to start. It really isn't. We can go as slow as we need to go. We can go as fast as we need to go. But the most important thing is you as a potential buyer are most comfortable throughout the entire process. Again, whether it's 2 days or a year or so, we're ready to help you put a plan together that makes sense for you and get you into that home ownership. If you have any questions, please give us a call at 702-758-4699. Email us at info@zahlerproperties.com, and we'd love to help you get out of that rental and into a home of your own. If you have any questions, let us know. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.